It's safe to say that shotguns in Vanguard Zombies are once again the meta, just like they were in Cold War Zombies. These things shred, they are super OP, and you may be thinking, what's better than having an OP shotgun? And my answer to that is having an OP shotgun with a bunch of OP attachments to make it even better. And so today I'm going to be presenting to you a loadout that focuses mainly on accuracy, and to be honest, you've probably seen a lot of these attachments used, because with this shotgun in particular, which is the Einhorn revolving shotgun, there's not too many attachments you can play around with really, because most of them give really negative trade-offs that don't make the positives exactly worth it. But there are a few I'm going to recommend here and there if you would like to mix and match. You're going to get a very good experience no matter which ones you use. I'm just going to be telling you what I think give the best benefits. I also just want to say real quick that the attachments on this shotgun, most of them are inspired from Mr. Waffles' video that he did about the same shotgun, but I'm going to be explaining them and making a lot of other recommendations. There's some differences for the whole loadout here and there, but I just wanted to put that out there. So there's two things that this shotgun loadout is going to focus on, and that is hipfire accuracy and mobility. Both of these things are really important in zombies, so I'm going to be showing you these attachments and kind of explaining them. And like I said, I wish there was some more flexibility with the attachments, but most of these attachments seem to be the meta right now, so let's begin. And by the way, I'm going to recommend getting your Einhorn revolving shotgun to level 53 at least, because that is when you're going to unlock everything that is needed in this loadout guide, especially the most important attachment in my opinion on the gun, which we'll get into later. But before we move on to the Einhorn shotgun, we're going to be first talking about your artifact, aka your field upgrade. I'm going to throw out the ether shroud because it is just the dominant one here. Being completely invisible for zombies for 5 seconds on Vanguard zombies is a huge help, because sometimes it can get very overwhelming in those tight hallways and when there's that big guy shooting at you and your health is really low. There's nothing more to it than that. Ether shroud, being invisible, it's a no-brainer. And in terms of equipment, demolition charges are the ones you want to be grabbing. And for your tactical equipment, monkey bombs are going to be a very good choice. Stims as a tactical in Vanguard really aren't as good as they used to be in Cold War. There's such a delay in one, using it, and two, your health actually regenning. And with monkey bombs, they're just a really solid choice if your ether shroud has run out and you still need to get the zombies away from you. There's a really cool way you can duplicate demolition charges. I did a short video of it on my channel, so it's really convenient if you need to watch that. But essentially, there's a certain covenant you need to use, which is called the mother load, and that's going to be what you need to get as many demolition charges as you want. And demolition charges are just so OP. And whilst we've been talking about covenants, I think the 3 covenants that are going to be really valuable to you with this shotgun loadout are mother load for those demolition charges, as well as the monkey bombs. Essentially what motherload does is it gives you a chance to keep equipment when it's thrown. Death blow is also going to be a very ideal covenant to use, especially in the legendary tier of it. This is going to give you 2 bullets back when you get 1 critical hit kill, which is a headshot. And since this shotgun is a headshot machine, you're not going to need to be reloading for a while. And the last one I'm going to recommend is dead accurate, where successive shots on the same enemy deal more damage. And considering this is a very accurate shotgun and we're going to be making it more accurate, you'll be able to rack up damage in no time. Now that we've got those bits and bobs out the way, let's move on to the holy, amazing, godlike, beautiful, inspiring, perfect, and Einhorn revolving shotgun. We're going to be starting with our muzzle, and you're going to want the first one you unlock, which is the choke. We want to keep those pellets nice and tight and close together because this is an accuracy type of gun. Slap on that choke just so your shotgun bullets aren't going all over the place. And this attachment makes headshots feel much easier to pull off. So this is only going to increase your hipfire accuracy, nothing more, nothing less, but it's a good start. Now for the barrel. There's a few ways you can go about the barrel, which is why it makes this shotgun in particular really interesting to me. The barrel I'm using is the Klauser 710mm, and at first it's going to look like there's a lot of downsides, but a lot of these we're going to be making them back up, and plus that damage range with the highly accurate and controllable buff as well is just extremely useful. Both are things that you're going to need for a shotgun, and because this is zombies, that damage range is going to be useful for taking you to those high rounds or completing the Easter egg whenever they decide to put that in the game. And as we can see on the Klauser 710mm, if we look at the more detailed description, although the cons do look overwhelming, it's not as bad as you think. Try and focus on what we're actually getting out of this. We're getting plus 40% horizontal recoil control, plus 30% vertical recoil control, and then the effective damage range goes up by 40%. This is a huge deal because that is going to stop this shotgun from dropping off in them later rounds, so you don't feel like you have to constantly just be barrel stuffing every single enemy. The second thing I'm going to recommend, if you don't want the ADS speed and the hipfire accuracy to go down, which I understand it is a lot of cons, the barrel attachment just above the Klauser 710mm is the Klauser 560mm Rapid, and this one isn't a bad choice. The two cons here is that your sprint to fire speed is still going to go down, but the pros you're going to be getting are the increased fire rate, hence the name Rapid, and improved hipfire accuracy. Whether you pick the Klauser 560mm or the Klauser 710mm, you're not going to go wrong here. Just fit it to your playstyle, but I personally think that damage range, so good. And the third thing you can do here is that if you don't want any of these attachments, just have no barrel attachment, because the default barrel provides a lot of accuracy to the gun, and so it'll make this thing a sniper, both ADS in and hipfire. But this loadout we have already is going to be very accurate. If you want even more accuracy with not as many trade-offs, then you can go with this option. Now let's move on to optics, and there are so many optics for this shotgun, almost too many. Like, you really don't need half of these, and usually in any shotgun loadout video, I've always said just have any optic, whether you want one or not. It doesn't make much of a difference, but in this, it really does. The optic in the meta right now in this loadout is the M38 Slate 2.5 Custom. There is so much to like about this optic. Not only is it a hybrid, so you can switch between the normal red dot or yellow dot in Vanguard, and then the 2.5 times scope, and don't get me wrong here, a 2.5 times optic for a shotgun, that's definitely pushing it, but it doesn't actually feel half bad to use, although I am aware that it looks really cursed having a scope on a shotgun. But remember, this is just mainly focusing on that accuracy anyway. This is going to help that recoil a whole lot. The only con here is that you ADS slower, but considering it's a shotgun, you're not going to be ADSing much anyway. And like I said, if this is too much of an issue for you, then there's going to be a stock we'll talk about later that you can put on, which is going to make you nice and speedy again. The ADS time is pretty fair, but I know there's some people that like being an absolute gunslinger with shotguns and stuff, so don't worry, I've got you covered. This scope is also not only going to give you +2 recoil control, but also +2 accuracy, and I think all of those things just for -1 ADS speed when you're mainly going to be hip firing, that one's a no-brainer. I can't find any scope on here that does a better job with that. Now for our stock, or should I say lack thereof, because we are going to be removing the stock. This will give us an additional +2 hip fire accuracy and +1 movement speed, which is zombies. I mean, I'm sure you know how integral movement speed is to your survival, because if you're not shooting, then you're running, and with the way the perk system now works in Vanguard Zombies, you don't want to be wasting time having to upgrade stamina up as soon as you can in anticipation of those super sprinters. So just having that small boost of movement speed straight away and keeping this gun nice and light is a very good idea. But just to be on the safe side, I think the removed stock is not only good for this loadout, but just any shotgun loadout you have. The cons, however, are going to take away 2 accuracy and 2 recoil control, so it may feel like a bit of a hard landing there, but trust me, the removed stock is worth it. And the other stock I mentioned earlier to get that ADS time improved is going to be the one just below it, which is the VDD Hunter. And if it wasn't for the removed stock having more speed with it, I would say go with this one. This one's a very solid choice, because if you look at the cons here, flinch resistance in zombies doesn't mean anything. It's not like you're exactly getting shot by sweats in a multiplayer lobby, and when you do by the big guy, it's only in short bursts anyway. The recoil recovery isn't too much of a problem considering it's only -1 recoil recovery, and the fact that there's other attachments on here that already give you more recoil recovery, so taking one off isn't really gonna hurt. But however, the -2 accuracy and recoil during sustained fire could be problematic for the accuracy of this shotgun loadout, but like I said, it's pretty accurate as it is, so this one really isn't a bad choice. Look at all of the pros you get here, but look at the pros you're getting from this: +2 hip fire accuracy, +1 aim walking movement speed, +1 +1 ADS time speed, and +1 sprint to fire speed. You get a lot of good benefits there, and the cons aren't really too punishing, so this is a very good shout. For our grips, there's no other grip that really will be good for this except for the Carver foregrip. Even more hipfire accuracy by 1, and then +2 recoil control, and if we look at the stats here, the recoil control is coming along very nicely, as is the hipfire accuracy as well. If you don't mind taking 2 cons, which are -1 accuracy and -1 recoil control, and you still want to be a speedy boy, then the Smile pistol grip, very strange name there. I mean, it's spell SMLE, but who's gonna? This will give you +2 sprint to fire speed and +1 hipfire accuracy. The cons, however, are -1 recoil control and -1 accuracy. Much like the stock here, pick this one according to your playstyle. If you want to feel a bit more light and breezy, then equip the Smile pistol grip, but if you want to keep stacking that hipfire accuracy, which I do strongly recommend doing, as well as the recoil control, the Carver foregrip is going to be a really solid choice. Regardless of whichever you pick, you're going to be getting a really good loadout. Onto our magazine. This is the most important attachment in this whole loadout in my opinion. You are going to go to the third one, which is the 16 gauge 7-round cylinder. This one is ridiculous. Now usually I've been given suggestions here and there as to which one you could use, but this 16 gauge 7-round cylinder is just the ultimate best choice. The cons are -2 aim down sight speed and -1 movement speed, but this is mainly just for hip firing because it is a shotgun, so don't let that throw you off, and the movement speed is made up for with the removed stock. But the pros having the magazine ammo capacity increased not only gives you 2 extra rounds in your mag, but also an extra mag to start with, and when you reload this thing, it makes speed cola something you don't have to get straight away. All you do is just put like 2 bullets in and then it loads the gun to a full mag. It has 7 bullets in its cylinder, and it is just ridiculous how fast it reloads and how much it actually just holds. It's important to make sure you have as many bullets in your cylinder as possible, and with the 16 gauge 7-round cylinder, this makes it so that you have the maximum amount you can have out of all of these attachments. I can't recommend this one enough. It is the most important attachment. Definitely get this one slapped onto the Einhorn. And last but certainly not least, for our rear grip attachment, I'm going to be recommending the fabric grip. You'll notice that in this loadout we've been losing a lot of handling with the gun, and with the fabric grip you're getting +1 ADS speed, +1 sprint to fire speed, and +1 hip fire recoil recovery, all for the cost of -1 accuracy, which to me is very worth it. It just gives the gun a little bit more of a lightweight feel, and like I mentioned, I think it just really compensates for a lot of handling that was lost, and gives the Einhorn revolving shotgun a very nice finishing touch. But in conclusion, if you use the attachments that have been said, some of them are just attachments that everyone is going to be using, like the optic, like the muzzle choke, because these are all very important for this shotgun. It's kind of like how in Cold War Zombies everyone would use the flashlight, I think it was, for increased equipment or salvage, and it simply is just the meta right now. I can guarantee a lot of people are going to be using those attachments, but there are definitely some where you can mix and match to fit your playstyle. If you have any loadouts that are a bit more different than this and are fun to use, definitely tell me in the comments below. But anyways, I'm going to leave this video here today. If you've made it this far and you enjoyed or found this helpful, then be sure to smash the like button, comment your thoughts down below, and only a very small percentage of people are even subscribed to the channel, so if you've made it this far, subscribe, you will not regret it. Turn on the notification bell too to stay notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.